Hey y'all, welcome back to Worn But Wild. Today we're going to break some of the heavy and talk about some of the random chaos that comes from parenting, having pets, and dark humor. This story is just too ridiculous not to share. The other day, Terry was preparing to cut the grass on the riding lawnmower. Now, our chickens, the security team, and the babies are pretty used to it by now and are more like other birds who just can't be bothered to get out of the way. But the neighbor chickens, the squatters, had their entire worldview shattered. Usually, Terry or the kids will pick up all of the toys and random junk laying around the yard right beforehand, but on this fateful day, a single weapon was missed: Sammy's tennis ball. Terry fires up the lawnmower and gets moving. Now, the squatters are going into full panic mode, running like it's the apocalypse, and they are not prepared. Unfortunately, one is trailing behind the others, and he is the immediate target. Terry unknowingly runs over the tennis ball, which immediately launches like a rocket directly at the trailing squatter and hits it square in the head. Instant chaos ensues. Y'all, I cannot make this up. The chicken lets out a terrible squawk, hits the ground, and starts spinning in circles, head dragging like a mop. Its fellow squatters want to turn around and run back to check on it, but head of security Rooster Hey Hey is already on the way. He runs to the chicken, stops, and turns his head so he can simultaneously check on the wounded with one eye and judge Terry with the other, while also checking the sky intermittently because it's raining tennis balls, right? Terry picks up the upset chicken, whose head falls over limp, and now he isn't sure what to do. He picks up its head to check if it broke its neck, and the whole time this chicken is howling. He sets it on the ground to see what it will do, and y'all, this chicken got hit so hard, now he thinks he's an airplane. He takes off running full speed, zigzagging through the yard with his wings fully outstretched sideways. One wing is skimming the ground, the other is up in the air, and its neck is still at a 90-degree angle. The whole time this poor thing is running, Terry is in hot pursuit. As it gets to the other side of the yard, Terry finally catches up to him. He picks it up and, in a Hail Mary effort, picks his head up and puts it straight. It looks around as if it's never seen the world before. Terry sets it on the ground, and it starts pecking the ground looking for its next meal because, after all of the activity, he must be famished. He did take time out of his hunt to shoot vengeful glares at Terry, but otherwise tries to pretend he did not just almost die. Terry's left scratching his head because he's caught between what the hell just happened and how is this my life? He thinks it's over. It's not. Terry goes back over and restarts the lawnmower, and bam! The chicken goes into full panic mode again. Now he's running at the fence trying to figure out how to get the hell out of the yard, but he can't. So after almost getting his head stuck in the chain link fence, he decides hiding is not out of the question and spends the rest of the day in the kids' pink playhouse. All the squatters went home that night like usual, and he was the first one back in the yard the next morning looking for treats. We so often have moments in our lives that make us wonder, how did we get here? Or what was I thinking? The kids and animals keep life interesting, and I wouldn't do it any other way, but there are times that I definitely wonder. The kids make me laugh every single day, for the things that they say to the things that they do and the things that happen you're not supposed to laugh at. From Elias coming in while I'm asleep whispering, "Mom," and then poking me in the face until I respond, to me thinking Briella is missing only to find her hiding inside of the fridge eating Vienna sausages at a year and a half old. There's just no way to prepare for motherhood. It's crazy, too, the things we find funny in our lives after the fact. Several of these times happened to me during treatment. One was during an extremely serious time, my last chemo treatment. I was in the treatment room getting my infusion when suddenly I was having extreme stomach pain. At the time, I had been dealing with colitis, so I chalked it up to that. I was playing a game at the table with my mom and said I was going to run to the bathroom. When I came out, several things happened very quickly. My mom panicked, and I got swarmed by nurses. Apparently, if you have an allergic reaction to carboplatin, a chemo, it's common for it not to happen until your sixth treatment, which is exactly my luck at this point, because this was my last treatment. I don't even realize at the time that there's anything amiss, and I wonder why everyone's panicking. Now I have already had my Tylenol and Benadryl, so I'm halfway down the rabbit hole as it is. They usher me over to the nearest treatment chair and get to work injecting things into my IV. I found out later that my mom had taken a picture of me from the side, and I was paper white with huge red splotches all over me, and to emphasize this, I'm bald at the time. It got to the point where they had already tried so many different things to get it to stop that they said they were going to try a heavy hitter, and if that didn't work, I would have to be transferred to the emergency room. At this point, they have given me so much that I'm in the middle of a huge fit of giggles and high as a kite. I'm laughing at the situation and everyone's reactions. Apparently, I also took a selfie while all of this was going on because I'm just laughing and saying, "Wow, look at me. I look so funny. Why is everyone so serious?" It got to the point that even in the middle of a dire situation, my laugh became infectious. And while still serious, the nurses couldn't help but chuckle at my mood. Luckily, the lorazepam they gave me worked, but that was the straw on the camel's back. I must have looked like I had been in the back drinking margaritas with the oncologist when I walked out because I was laughing to the point of tears and swaying and tripping all over the place, which only fanned my fire. We left and I promptly ordered entirely too much food from Arby's, went home and slept it off. But Bree thought it was hilarious as I did. Mommy acting so silly. Now when I look back, it is by far one of my most hilarious and ridiculous moments, and it still makes me laugh. I don't think I could get through the day if I didn't find humor in the crazy things that come along with this life. And it's not just the big moments like that, it's the little ones too. The fleeting moments that you never forget, like Briella calling Elias an asshole. No idea where she learned that. Or Terry lifting something really heavy the other day, looking all killer and serious, and my thoughts being torn between, now that's skill and that's my man. Then him looking up with a huge goofy grin on his face and giggling because he can't believe he just did that. And I chuckled and thought, there he is. There's my man. Or taking an awesome pic of Elias in his new football gear, all serious and cool looking, and him running over looking just like Terry, giggling with a big goofy grin, asking to see the picture. These are the little blessings that matter the most. Sometimes life hits you in the head like a tennis ball. Sometimes you run sideways with your wings out and pretend nothing happened. And sometimes you just gotta laugh through it because laughter is the only thing louder than the chaos. Before we wrap, I want to shout out Joey Swoll, a fitness influencer and advocate for gym positivity on Facebook and beyond. He sends a message we don't hear enough: support, not judgment; love, not shame. He uses his platform to lift others up and shut down the haters, and honestly, I think we could all use a little more of that in our lives. He really does an amazing job and tries to support his fans. I'm going to leave you with Isaiah 40:29. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Stay wild.